being Spider-Man is it's a lot different responsibility than being Lois Lane, you know? And,
is it though?
I mean, we're both playing characters that have been sort of beloved
canonized and
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But in a way, I think of it sort of like theater, because in theater, roles get played time and time again with different interpretations. Yeah. So I never feel like I own
ownership.
A role.
No.
Yeah.
None.
Exactly.
Me neither.
Do you enjoy working in that universe? I mean, that's a very easy question or a hard question.
I don't know. I think those are the only two. I did 2 of those films, and it was a very specific experience. And I imagine it'll be different every time. Those are the 2 big budget films I've done. Yeah. And it was its own thing. So I'm loath to judge that experience and kind of paint that whole.
Of course.
But there were great things about it. I got to work with incredible actors, a really great director. And they were really tricky. I was very young for a man. I was 25, 26, and I felt young in retrospect. And I'd only done a few films, and I was feeling so like in the right place. Yeah. And like I knew, like I was being guided somewhere. And doing the Spider-Man stuff, I felt guided into it. I knew it was the right thing for me to do. I learned a lot about what feels good and what doesn't feel good. Yeah. And what to say yes to.
Like those tight suits don't feel so good, huh?
That's just, you're just scratching the surface.
I know, I know. I understand.
But so it's like, and I was thinking about that today actually. I was young, and I think it's a difficult, you know, not as young as someone like, you know, the young guy playing it now, Tom Holland, who's a fantastic actor, by the way. But there's something about being that young in that kind of machinery, which I think is really dangerous. And I wasn't young, I wasn't a teenager, but I was still young enough to struggle with the value system, I suppose, of corporate America. Really, it's really a corporate enterprise mostly. Yeah, that's the
well, you're doing something in service of something. You know what I mean? Like the character is serving the story or serving a canon, as opposed to all of that serving the. This is how I feel. Serving the character. Do you know what I mean? So like,
right.
Like that's the tricky thing with Lois that I find is that I feel like I love playing her. I love everyone I work with. But sometimes it's tricky because I feel like she's in service of the story instead of the story serving the character. Okay. And I think that sometimes can be tricky when you show up and you really want to retain a character and you have to serve a story. But I mean, does that make sense?
I think so, yeah.
In a perfect universe, they all work together.
That's what I was about to say.
I always want to service the story.
Sure, yeah, right.
But I want to feel supported as in the character as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And they are one and the same thing.
Yes.
But I
can see how what I said sounds.
No, but I think
wrong.
I think it's clear though now. But I think there is something that happens in those. I don't know what your experience was, but my experience, there's something that happens. There's something that happened with that experience for me where it was story and character were actually not top of the priority list ultimately.
Got it. Yeah.
And I found that really tricky. I signed up to serve the story and to serve this incredible character that I've been dressing as since I was 3. Yeah. And then it gets compromised and it breaks my heart. I got heartbroken a little bit to a certain degree, not entirely.
No, but I totally, you know I get. Oh, sure. I've signed on to things for one reason and they've turned into something else, and it's always a little heartbreaking because you have to let go of that ideal. I mean, it's kind of part of growing up, right?
I think so. Yeah.
You sort of sign on for one thing and then you realize it's something else, and you have to mature through that and come out with something learned for the next thing.
But then does it make you ever more discerning about what you can go to work on and where and how? I
think having my daughter did that, because if I'm going to be away from her, it has to count. It has to count. Oof. And I think I didn't realize that soon enough having her, and I feel like I work too much. I love everything. I don't regret the work, but I regret the time missed. But I kind of thought, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know. It's weird.
There's something really beautiful about regret.
Yeah, isn't it? Because if you're not going to repeat the actions.
Exactly. Right? I think regret means that you won't.
Yeah.
Right, if you accept, there are people who said no regrets. I had a friend who's a tattoo artist.
No regrets.
And someone came in with a no regrets tattoo, And she came in and said, I need you to remove this tattoo.
Aww.
And he was like, I can't.
I can't. Aww.
Do you understand why I can't? And she was like, no. Well,
yeah.
Kind of no regrets, so I kind of just leave it on there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of, but it's like,
yeah.
I don't really abide by that. I think regretting is kind of healthy.
Well, I think I like, but I also take a lot of accountability for my own action. Mm-hmm. So I think that's important as well. And I think when you're somebody who does take accountability, you can have regret for, you know, having hurt somebody, or if we're looking at accepting a film, which really is not, hopefully not my biggest regret. That means I'm not really doing it right, you know.
If I'm in a scene, I'm not a woman who's a size 2. If I'm in a sex scene, I want to play the sex scene. I want to say, this is why I'm attracted to you. This is why it's gotten to this point. You know, this is what my body looks like.